The Kiev regime has many sins, corruption being one of them. Corruption is eating away at the Kiev regime from within. They are stealing most of the money they receive from Europeans and Americans. This is an indisputable fact, obvious to everyone. It is just that this information is being revealed and coming out in bits and pieces. Surely, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how corrupt the Kiev regime is.
Regarding the dire situation for the Ukrainian armed forces on the front line, has the US or Europe changed its position in any way? Or not really yet?
The Europeans tend to encourage the regime to continue the war. The Americans seem to be leaning towards taking a break for now. We remain open to continuing the negotiation process, but it is impossible to do so alone, given that the Kiev regime does not want to talk about anything and does not want to address the issues raised.
Kiev targeted the Caspian Pipeline Consortium's, CPC, facilities several times. Was this issue discussed?
The CPC issue was raised. Kazakhstan is committed to ensuring the CPC runs smoothly, expands its capacity and increases its export volumes. Russia is willing to cooperate and collaborate in this area in every possible way, but we are also witnessing Kiev regime subversive activities and terrorist attacks on civilian energy infrastructure with international participation. Incidentally, the CPC is an international project. It is an international joint venture.
Minister, has this recent corruption scandal in Ukraine shaken the EU's confidence or finance minister's confidence regarding a reparations loan for Ukraine or other financial assistance?
It remains very important that we continue our support for Ukraine. Of course, Ukraine will have to continuously work with reforms, with strengthening all parts of their society. That also applies to anti-corruption parts of the society. But there shouldn't be any doubt that there's a strong European support behind Ukraine.
You're meeting Stoltenberg also this morning. Are you suspecting or are you hoping that he would say anything about Norway's role in this reparations loan?
Well, we have a very strong, the European Union has very strong ties with Norway, and Norway has also been supporting Ukraine from the very beginning. We haven't had any specific discussion on the best way forward here from the Norwegian contributions, but of course it's important that Norway also contributes, just like we're talking to other like-minded countries outside of the European Union, like the UK, Canada, for example. So we'll see, but I remain confident that Norway still plays a role, whether it being as a part of the reparations loans or in any other cases.
Russian external intelligence several days ago, they published statement with language of threat against Belgium to prevent Belgium from support of reparation law. I understand that this threat for all members of EU. Is it work from your opinion when Russia released such kind of statement to prevent Belgium and other members of EU from making this decision?
Well, I think it's important to remember that the European Union as a whole finds ourselves in a situation where there is a hybrid warfare with Russia, and any one of us could be threatened on any day in different occasions. A lot of countries have experienced drones within their airspace, for example. So I think, to be honest, that's a new normal, and we shouldn't let any occasions where we are hit by Russian hybrid warfare threaten us and remain from or sustaining from actually supporting Ukraine.
Can I ask about Belgium's demand? So it wants the legal and financial risks associated with the loan to be shared, but one of the things that was said at the last UCO was that he wanted other member states which have Russian assets to harness them to support Ukraine. Do you think that demand is reasonable?
Well, I think we should have a discussion in general on what's the best way forward to support Ukraine and how can we mobilize as many funds as possible for Ukraine. So we're, of course, open to find the best way forward. I don't have any specific comments on that.
Are there any other options instead of reparation loans?
Well, we will be discussing, of course, which kind of options there could be, as also per request of the European leaders at their last summit. That's what we'll also be discussing today. To be honest, to me, it still looks like the best way forward would be the reparations loan, but we will have a discussion on that today, and also from there on work on actually solving the different issues that could be connected to that.
Are you optimistic the deal could be reached by the next European Council or at the next European Council? Or are you pessimistic?
No, I'm always optimistic that we will be able to find solutions in Europe. I think we've shown that time and again, whether it be on sanctions, whether it be on the era loans, whether it be on any other kinds of support. And to be honest, I think it's natural. We're talking a lot of money and we're talking a very important issue, as I said before, European countries being at a permanent state of hybrid warfare with Russia. So I think it's natural that we have a discussion and exploring different kind of options, and also, of course, the difficulties connected to any of those options. But I remain optimistic that Europe as a whole will stand firm behind Ukraine and support Ukraine for as long as it takes. Thank you.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.